Do subscribe to Ekeeda channel and press bell icon to get updates about latest engineering, HSC and IIT JEE main and advanced videos.
Hello students, in this video we'll discuss about binding energy of a satellite revolving around a planet, and also we'll discuss about total energy and binding energy in different situations. Okay. To find binding energy is basically the negative of total energy. It is the basically negative of total energy. That means what? What is total energy? Now total energy is the sum of kinetic energy plus potential energy of the satellites. So when you find the kinetic energy, which is always positive, potential energy is always negative. But this number is greater than this number. So the net value is negative. That means the total energy is always negative. This is negative. This is positive, this is negative. Because the total is always negative, that means the object or the satellite is bound to the planet. It is not only about the satellite, it can be about any other object. So the total energy is always negative, means that is bound to the earth. To make it free, we have to supply that amount of positive energy. So this total energy is suppose minus 5 joule, then you provide plus 5 joule to make it free. That energy is known as binding energy. It is the minimum energy required to free the object from the gravitational influence. It is that energy which is the minimum energy required to free the object from the surface of the earth. That minimum energy is known as binding energy. Definition: it is a minimum energy needed to free the object from the gravitational influence of a given planet. How to find the expression for that? So expression for binding energy. It is the sum of kinetic energy and potential energy and negative value. First of all, we'll find the kinetic energy. Whose kinetic energy? The object, which is obviously the satellite, which is revolving around the planet Earth. This distance is small r. The mass is smaller, its mass is capital M. The kinetic energy of the satellite or the object which is revolving is given by kinetic energy of the satellite is given by half mass into Vc square, that is half mass. Vc square is under root gm over r root square, that is this value. So it is G small m capital M divided by 2R. This is the expression for kinetic energy of the satellite which is revolving around the planet. So after kinetic energy, let us find the potential energy of the satellite. The potential energy is given by the gravitational potential into the mass of the object. Gravitational potential is minus Gm over R. This is the formula we have to remember. We are not going to derive the expression by integration and just writing the expression. That the expression you have to remember. The gravitational potential is minus Gm over R into small m. That will give me minus Gm m over R. This expression. This expression is for potential energy, and this expression is for kinetic energy. If I add these two expressions, then I will get total energy. Obviously, this number is more negative and this is less positive, so ultimately it will be more negative. So the total energy, which is the sum of Ke plus Pe, kinetic and potential. Kinetic energy is Gmm over 2R minus, this is minus Gmm over R. These are the two expressions that I am adding up. From here I write, suppose Gmm over R common, this is half minus 1. Half minus is minus half, so it is minus Gmm over 2R. This is the total energy. It is very much clear that total energy is negative because none of these quantities are ever negative. So total energy is always negative. Always. As long as it is within the influence of that planet, always negative. Interestingly, the total energy expression and the kinetic energy expression, if you can see, both are same in terms of magnitude. Only the sign is there, minus, and here the sign is plus. So many conclusions can be drawn over here that the total energy, some points to remember, total energy, the magnitude of total energy is equal to the kinetic energy. As far as the potential energy is concerned, if I multiply 2 here, multiply 2 here, then this is the total energy, 2 times total energy. Potential energy is 2 times potential energy magnitude divided by 2. So this is how the potential energy is actually double in terms of magnitude that of total energy and kinetic energy. This relation is important to remember. Now moving back to the topic, we have a total energy which comes out to be minus G capital M small m divided by 2R, where M is the mass of the planet, M stands for the satellite mass, R is the radius of orbit, and G is the gravitational constant. Now, what is binding energy? If the satellite is or any object is having this much of total energy which is negative, then I have to provide this much a positive value so that the energy becomes 0. So binding energy is nothing but the minimum energy that is provided to the object to make its total energy 0. You can say it's negative of total energy, or I can say the minimum energy provided to the satellite or any object in for that matter, to the satellite or to the object, to make the object's total energy to be zero. That energy is called binding energy. So I'll just write that negative of this is positive of this. So binding energy is plus of GMM over 2R. This is the formula for this situation. This is for the moving planet, moving satellites or object in motion, moving satellites. This is the situation. Binding energy expression we got. This is the expression for binding energy. Okay, thank you.